Episode 1 of Coffee and Chel. If you are looking for 20 minutes of Hockey Ultimate Team on your commute to work every week, you found the right spot. Last year, we did 175 episodes of essentially me yapping for 20 to 30 minutes about everything that is going on in Hockey Ultimate Team and reading your questions and comments from the prior video. Now, since this is the first video of NHL 26, there won't be any comments read in this video. However, any comment left in this video, go down and look at the comment section when you're leaving it. If you see any other comments you want answered in the next video, make sure you like it because I sort by whoever has the most likes first, and then we go off on those topics there. So, number one, I'm excited for everyone that watched Who Should You Choose over the years. It's the exact same thing. I'm just calling it Coffee and Chel now because I record these at the crack ass of dawn, and I enjoy my coffee. King's Coast, if you are looking for the best coffee that you can get. So, we've got a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. Number one, let's talk about things I liked. All right, let's talk about things I've liked so far. I have not played a game of ranked. Not that I don't like that, but I've been trying to complete all of the offline stuff, get it out of the way, and then dive into ranked with a full team. This is what I do every year. If you've been watching my content, my strategies, and things like that, what I tell everyone is, if you're going to play the game, let the people that live for online, let them have online. Just let them go. Let them beat up on each other, especially this year. And don't worry about it. Work on building your team, especially if you are no money spent like myself. So work on building your team. I did all of the moments. I did all of the moments. I did all of the objectives, essentially. Cup chase is almost done. Wild card is finished. And we're almost ready to go. I have a subathon starting today at noon Eastern time. If you don't know how a subathon works, on my Twitch channel, every gifted sub adds 6 minutes to the clock, which means that if someone gives 10, that adds an hour, so on and so forth. I do not end my stream until the timer hits 0, meaning that it could go 2 days, it could go 5 hours, it could go 40 days like it did in 2022. I don't end the stream. That's right. I sleep on stream. I legitimately have 2 baseball playoff games that I'm going to have to play if we make it to Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you want to see a middle-aged man struggle playing sports, that stream's for you. Okay, so when it comes to ranked, they need. I've been watching Burt Crown. He's my boy. I'm watching a lot of people in the community. In the deep dive, there was an issue where they said ranked it's this new mode. I told you guys it was just a fresh coat of paint, which is true, but it is spiced up. It is not just rivals because of the new reward path and how it works. They said in that video, there is no relegation. Now, why is that important? Well, what happens is when that is the only way to earn rewards when playing online, that means you have to be able to achieve it, okay? Because when I saw the rivals, I'm gonna call it rivals. That's it. I'm not calling it ranked. It's rivals. When I saw the rivals reward path and the idea behind it, I really couldn't understand because I kept trying to ask and figure it out. I could not figure it out, so I was like, I'll wait until launch. Because who you match up with, right, is that dependent on what rank they're in. And if that's the case, then how can it be cumulative? Where if you just win more games, you get a little check, you get a square, as Bert says, you get a square, and then you just keep going, right? So the better players, they'd be able to fly through it because they win more games, right? Whereas the players that are maybe in Division 4 and below, let's say, they're going to take a lot longer, but they can get to Ultimate because it's just wins. You don't go down. There's no relegation, right? So if you lost 6 in a row and you're Silver 3. It's okay. You win 1 eventually because you keep going down. You're eventually going to win 1. Then you'll move up to Silver 2, right? That's not the case. After Bronze, you can relegate. My man Bert has been playing. He's been doing his own subathon, and he has been playing. I think he's at 80 games of Rivals. Sounds insane. Yes, it is insane. Again, he has been live streaming since launch of the game, so that's all he has to do, right? And that's an excessive. No one else is going to hit that. But he played 60 games, 30 and 30, exact same spot, no additional rewards. Could you imagine? Now, this is going to be a major issue because if they don't address this very quickly, you're going to get to a spot. I talk about this all the time. You're going to get to a spot where the Mikes in Indiana, They come home from work, they want to play NHL 26, they're going to play a few games, and they're going to be like, I didn't move up. I didn't get any rewards. I literally just played for the sake of playing. Now, that's great, but that is versus with our own teams. And if you do not grind the game, you do not spend money, versus at least you're on the same playing field. The reason why versus is a barren wasteland, RIP versus, is because you don't get to build your own team, and it's really just a leaderboard. I loved versus. It was my entire childhood, essentially. Not childhood, teenage years. And, but there's a reason why no one plays anymore. It's just because there's no team building aspect. There's not a lot to it. It's just kind of you play and then you're done. And that isn't conducive to how people play video games anymore. We're all addicted to the game. We need to be stuck in a game, and versus is literally just play a couple games and then you're done. That's what HUD is right now. So here are my predictions. I thought about this a lot, and I was gonna freak out, and I was gonna make a big ranked is toast, But then I realized last year, remember when the XP path came out? And for anyone that doesn't remember, let me bring you back. How the XP path worked, I was so certain this is it. The future of HUT, XP path, you don't have to play you don't got to play squad battles or offline. You can play rivals and get everything. Or you can play squad battles and play everything. Good Lord, was I wrong. So what ended up happening was the reward path the XP path was so bad in rewards that you had people just playing the way they wanted to play, but there was nothing. We are talking legit nothing in that XP path. Okay. And as the year went along, the XP path got better. It did. Like, if you were comparing season 1 and you guys wouldn't believe, if you didn't play season 1 last year at launch, you have no idea. That XP path, you can go back and watch videos on it, crazy. So then what they ended up doing was I want to say it was during early access. No, it wasn't during early access because that had its own XP path. So I think it was like a week in to worldwide launch. They were like, okay, we need to do something here because the XP path offers nothing. They took away weekly rivals and squad battle rewards, and it's like people have no reason to play. And what they did was they put the rivals and squad battles objective path back into the game. Very lazy, or I don't want to say lazy because maybe that was their intention, but there's no ingenuity to it. It's just win games, right? And I hate the boring just win games, but that was what it ended up being. Rivals, rewards, that was what you did. You got your 30 wins every week, and that was really all that the main rewards, right? And the XP path was supplementary. That's my guess here for ranked. I'm going to assume very early on if the new season ticks over and we get a new ranked path, that will explain, there just can't be relegation. But then the issue becomes, if there's no relegation, what happens to people that the better you are, right, the faster you're going to finish. Good, but then you need to give the people something else to play that could at least offer something. And I don't really know what that is. So I'll give you an example. Let's pretend you finished your 30 rivals wins last year, okay? And you finished the XP path, okay, entirely. Nothing left to play. At least you could work on the division you're in. Again, that's not going to matter for anyone, but I'm going to take, for me personally, a goal of my series was to get to Division 1. I won my 30 games, but I'd be like, okay, I need to get to Division 1, so at least there was something that I could work towards. Right now, there's literally nothing, because if let's say you got to ultimate rank, that's it, you're done for the season. So unless it's so long that top-end players can't get it, or can't get it quickly, you've got the casual players that have no shot at getting that far. It just needs to be addressed, and I'm guessing that it will be. I'm not ready to burn the boats yet. There isn't a real lot of reason to have a lot of faith because there was a lot of trust broken with the community because they just changed things. It didn't make much sense, and for a lot of the community, we just didn't enjoy the content and stuff like that. I have faith that this is going to be fixed quickly. So for anyone that has not tried ranked yet, just keep working towards your offline rewards, and then play wildcard, if you want to play online. But then once you want to dabble in ranked, do it until you get hard stuck, and then just wait until they're going to add something. They have to, and I expect it to happen shortly. Let's talk about Cup Chase. So I've got about halfway through my first Cup Chase run. A couple things. They need to change the pack rewards to not include undefeated because unfortunately, too many people are having their runs ended. And it is It's funny. I looked at the amount. It's a 2 minute period game. 2 minute periods, 3 2 minute period game. 3 periods of a 2 minute period game, and that's actually like 2.5 hours. And that's not faster than what we had last year because you could do your squad battle objective path, get 30 wins, and you could do that on rookie and just let the controller sit. I've always said that if that's how you're going to play the game, then the game mode is not good enough. That's not playing video games, that's doing chores. You're going back to work. And video games should never be that. There should be a grind in some sense, but if you're doing that, then you're just addicted to the rewards like we all are, and that's all they offer. They need to fix a mode, make it more engaging. Because you can't lose, however, it made me play squad battles on Superstar and be kind of locked in. Like I'm a Division 1 player, not high end, just scraping the bottom, right? But I'm half decent at the game, and I was pretty locked into squad battles, or sorry, cup chase on Superstar. And again, our teams are pretty awful in comparison, but it was enjoyable. Now, is it going to be enjoyable in 3 weeks when I've done it 50 times? Probably not. So a couple things. The rewards, I knew they weren't going to be good because you can repeat it. It's the first time EA has given us repeatable NHL rewards in HUT, at least in a long time, where there's no cap. If you wanted to, you could do 50 cup chase runs in a row and just keep earning rewards. Now, those rewards are pretty rough. So from what I can gather, the final one, if you can get Superstar and get all the packs, you're basically getting like 78 overall players, a few of them, and that's okay because that's the barrier of entry for the event. But people are very, upset about that because the old squad battles path would give you something like 25,000 coins, 3 really good packs. It just again, it all comes down to rewards. And I think that the big issue with NHL 25 was that they removed a lot of rewards to inflate the cost and the value of every card you pull. So there's no way to argue that. Because of the huge drain of rewards last year, a silver card at launch, guys, was going for 5,000 coins. Anything that you pulled had a lot of value. And obviously it got figured out a little bit and everything came down in price. But there's no way to argue that cards last year were worth so much more. And that was because of the lack of rewards. You throw more rewards at people, then every card becomes cheaper. But here's the thing. Everyone just wants to, no one cares about protecting the market and making cards more valuable. You just want to be able to, everyone wants to be able to just have a shot at pulling more stuff. And in Ultimate Team, I think they're going to end, this is going to be a multi-year bend but don't break type situation. Because it's evident that people just want to have more rewards. Whether they're good or not, just more. And I don't understand how long it's going to be, but the rewards for Cup Chase are pretty brutal. However, like I said, it's 2.5 hours of 2 hours of in-game time, 2.5 hours to do a full Cup Chase run. But like I mentioned, I'm seeing so many people get disconnected because it's EA, man. It's EA. And if you're doing it in the playoffs or in Game 18, you've just wasted like those 2 hours. And people don't have that much time. So until they can make sure that you don't get kicked out, they need to figure out a way or play offline, like allow us to do it offline or something. They need to remove that pack or change it. I thought there would be something where like one cool thing about mini seasons in MLB, which is pretty much a direct comparison. You start a mini season and you're playing and you have to make the playoffs and all that. And you get pack rewards based on like objectives that you hit. It's basically what I was talking about for like 4 years now in HUT, and Cup Chase is very close to that. The thing is that in mini seasons you have objectives like, lead the league in home runs, right? So imagine it's like lead the league, have a Rocket Richard winner. Right? So you've got to play your games to get that. What I think is going to happen, and I'm going to test this during my subathon if it gets long enough because we're just going to run out of things to do. If you go on Superstar, quit out of every game until you can qualify for the playoffs, quit out of every game because you just need to make the playoffs. You're sacrificing the undefeated pack. How long does that take? And then the 2 packs that you get at the end, if you could just recycle them, let's say you have a lot of time, is that more valuable? I don't know, but it's a concern, and we'll wait and see when it comes to Cub Chase. Up next, let's talk about gameplay. Things I like in gameplay. The short side snipe is back. Like that's my childhood. But not just the short side snipe. Picking the corner on a goalie is now possible. Like that was the majority of how I scored in Wildcard, Cup Chase, all of it on Superstar, all of it. I'm just picking the corner with players with a good shot. If you have quick release, just set up for a second in the slot, like a half second, pick your corner, wrist shot upstairs. You can do it off the. It's the first time you've been able to score effectively with your wingers being on their correct hand, like left-handed wingers on the left side, right-handed wingers on the right side. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I'm not saying that's the meta. I'm just saying that there were situations where I had a lefty coming down the left side. I just waited a second, beat the goalie short side upstairs. So satisfying off the bar. I mean, there's 7,000 post shots, which is hilarious, but I've really enjoyed that is back. I think what's causing this is the aggression attribute on goaltenders. So aggression, for anyone that doesn't know, if you go look at your goalie's aggression, that isn't a stat that is a rating. So if you had 99 aggression, it doesn't make you better than someone with 70 aggression. It's a personality trait. I don't know if this is something that I directly got changed years ago, but I remember there was one year where it's Jonathan Quick. I don't know why I remember it. Obviously, I strongly dislike Jonathan Quick, but he had a card come out that was a 99 overall aggression card. It's like NHL 21. And I played pretty competitively then, or that was probably the last year I was good. And I remember trying him out, and if you had a breakaway against or anything, he would play almost out of his crease. It was absurd. And I remember going to Ben Ross, the old gameplay developer, and being like, "What is going on here? Like, is there a reason why this is happening?" And he actually was surprised. He said because the aggression stat is not a rating; it's a personality trait. So overalls were going up +1. Aggression was included in that, but aggression is a personality trait. So essentially, if you have lower aggression, they just stay deeper in their net. That's it. So then what ended up happening was when you play like in real life, a goalie that comes out and challenges should be able to stop, shots like that or one-timers and things like that. The problem is the meta and how we play online is not good for aggressive goaltenders. If you get in tight, if you get anywhere near the net, you can just do a forehand backhand. The goalie is 5 feet out of his net, right? So I'm seeing a lot of goaltenders with like 80 aggression, and that is very high in consideration to the prior years. So once that got changed, the lower aggression was the better for online play. Just the goals that you're trying to go for, that's what was stopping those. So I'm wondering if maybe because aggression is so high, you shouldn't be able to pick that. You'd think that you would have less of an angle with a goalie that comes out aggression-wise, but it's just something that I picked up. But I have enjoyed it. I'm sure I'll get bored of it or get annoyed with it. But the old come down the wing, cut into the middle, shoot short side, that has been gone for 3-4 years. And I don't think that's a bad thing because that was literally the way to score for, 15 years prior. That appears to be back. And it's not just that. And like I said, it's the short side stuff too is really fun. DDD one-timers, they're there, but I've had a lot of catch and shoots or skill-based one-timers that are 68 miles an hour. I think it has a lot to do with lower attributes. I do. I think that lower attributes, we don't notice attributes at all because once you're into the 80s and 90s, because the difference is so small, it's very hard to notice. When they're in the 70s to 80, that's very noticeable. So I'm wondering if slap shot power and accuracy is actually being really taken into account. We just don't notice it. The game will feel sluggish early on, but that's because we're used to 99 HUT. This is you know what I mean? And so greened up one-timers I'm not noticing as much. I've scored a few, but not nearly at the same clip as last year. The LT is there. I haven't played online, but of all the top-end players that I trust and I talk to, it's there. The LT was kind of marketed as it being gone in the HUT Deep Dive blog, and you can still do it. So I haven't played online yet. I don't do it. I'm not going to show people how to do it. And I'm hoping that because they publicly said it was removed and that was something they marketed, they're going to take devs off and actually patch it out. I don't see a way around that. and usually they've shown in the last few years they don't do patches simply because they just start working on the next game. They essentially gained like they have a full year now because the game came out 11 months. The NHL 26 is a dev cycle of 11 months, which is crazy in itself. But I'm hoping that we see some patches there. What did they do to my sweet, sweet toe drag? So if you guys watched my climb to Division 1 last year, or a few months ago, I didn't do the LT. I was making my mission. I was like, I'm going to figure out a way to get to Division 1 without it. And one of the ways to do it is not just doing a normal toe drag, but doing a toe drag when you're stopped and skating with it, and you would actually get this like nice little cut through the middle and get some skating going with it. Eki used to do it years ago, and that was where I saw it like back when I was casting the GWC, and it became like my go-to on how to get in the middle, and or even at the point. The toe drag animation now is just like a 4-second thing where you're locked in. It's so elongated, and I think it's because they added this new toe drag in the game. It's like a double toe drag kind of thing, which is harder to pull off. But the normal toe drag is just gone, and I'm sad about it. And I'm hoping that it's just because everyone has lower deking ratings, because the deking rating will determine how fast you can pull off a deke. And I went into offline, and I was practicing with Connor McDavid just offline. And he has an ankle breaker and elite edges and all that stuff. And his toe drag felt okay, but he's got like 99 deking. So I'm hoping that isn't the case. But man, is it pretty rough early on. So yeah, rewards as a whole, it's no different than last year. Like it's I think about this. When the early access is on, it's just the way that we play video games. We're all so hyper-focused. We want everything immediately. So we just grind a crazy amount. Maybe not my following, because my following is quite old and we have responsibility. Like, I haven't even finished my first Cup Chase run, right? And this is my job. I'm spending so much time on editing and things like that I really haven't gotten this a crazy ton to play until my subathon, which starts again today. But we burned through the early access path, and then we're like, now what? The game's dead. I just need to see worldwide launch. Worldwide launch is going to tell me a lot. Very, very interested about it. I'm not going to freak out just yet because, if they just put the rewards that we had back in from 25, we're not going to be happy, but it's what we had for an entire dev cycle. So if you still played for it, if you still played for those rewards, it's like, okay, at least those are in, right? Because right now, like I said, the ranked rewards are absolutely crazy. Chemistry. Let's talk about the market real quick. I'm actually going to do a Market Monday video every Monday following, who should you choose? Or, sorry, Coffee and Chel. And the last time I did Market Monday was like NHL 22 or 21, and I had to stop doing them because I just influenced the market. I love talking about it, but I'd be like, oh, this card is a pretty good value. There'd be 6 weirdos that, just crush Subway relentlessly and wear one pair of sweatpants. They would just wait for that video to drop, and they would just go buy up all the cards I talked about. And it completely defeated the purpose of it. So what I wanted to do for Market Monday, though, something that annoys me, is that, myself included, so many people have no idea what to do with stuff at launch and throughout the game simply because we don't know the values. And the easy way to predict the future, one of the easier ways to predict the future, is look at past performance. So what I'm going to do is every Monday, I'm just simply going to go through the market. I'm not going to be like, oh, you got to buy these cards, it's cheap. I want a reference guide so that we can go back and we can look throughout the year. Okay, when the fantasy event dropped, what happened to the set fodder? Like, what happened to 77 overalls when the fantasy event dropped? What happened to icons? Are icons going to go up in price? Heroes, were they useless? So when the new season drops, is everyone going to be all about them and then it falls down? The one thing I think will happen, and this is just something easy to tell, go and look at the chemistries. Again, I don't know if every player realizes that the chemistries are going to change. So when Season 2 drops, it's the same for Season 1. So early access, the new season will come, or Season 1 will come. Those line combinations will stay the same. So don't worry if you've got Ronick, Teravainen, and Solani, you're fine. But what's going to happen is, like, Troy Terry's going, I saw a trade, my man Bagel Country, who I'm going to get on the show, who is like one of the best when it comes to making coins and working the market in this game. He had a trade offer of Sergei Fedorov for Troy Terry, which is one of the funniest things to think about in retrospect. Because like launch of the game, you're like, no way that's even close. But because there's a 3 duck plus 2 overall, you bet your cheeks that's going to be huge. Well, what happens to duck cards once they aren't needed in a chemistry boost? Bang, gone. And I'm curious to see when that happens, so that players that don't want to learn what all of their cards are worth, we've got a little bit of a reference guide. So Market Monday is going to make a play. I'm going to record that today, and we're simply just going to go through. Okay, here's what icons are going for. I think this. I'm not gonna give my financial advice in Hut, because again, that would just ruin it completely. You can do what you want with the info, but it's just there. I want it there so that people, and myself included, can go back and be like, okay, when Nations of Hockey or whatever at Christmas time came out, what happened to the market? That's my idea. So next video, guys, episode 2. These drop Monday to Friday, unless there's something serious going on. And I will go through all of the prior videos, questions, and comments, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So leave your comments down below. Next episode, we've got our first one where we get to go through all of your questions and comments. I'm excited for it. We're back. It's NHL 26. I hope to see you during the subathon. Even if you just come hang out, have a good one, guys.